What are some deep, thought-provoking questions to ask someone to know them better? This isn't so much a question, but a little game you can play that can help break the ice and let you know how well you mesh together. If you're at a place like a bar or restaurant, look around the room and try to come up with backstories for other people there. It can be a lot of fun and takes some of the pressure off, while getting you two talking to each other and getting a feel for each other's sense of humor, personality. It can tell you a lot about a person. For example, I played this while out on a date with this girl, and she managed to take all the fun out the game by being ridiculously cruel in all her assumptions for no real reason at all. It felt like she was projecting issues she had onto these people. Like one guy was sitting at the bar alone. Could have been waiting for someone, you never know. But because he was alone, he was a freaking loser with no friends that hates his life. Completely killed the mood, but at least gave me a heads up as to what type of person she was. I had that experience on a date once. We weren't even playing the game. I was winning for 2 months until I saw your comment. People watching is great. You can really gauge how good a person's emotional intelligence is and their ability to empathize, which tells you a lot about a person. It's also great practice for people skills, for observational ability, for stage and film actors and fiction writers, for developing empathy, management skills, etc. What is your mother's maiden name? What's the name of the street you grew up on? What was your first pet's name? What are the 3 digits on the back of your debit card? This might be a legitimately funny way to break the ice with someone, provided your overall vibe isn't too serial killery, and as long as you reassure them you're only joking. What's your favorite password recovery security question? Guess this will tell you how bright they might be. At the end of Pete Holmes' podcast You Made It Weird, he always asks, what's the hardest you've laughed? Doesn't have to be the literal hardest, but whatever pops in their head first. I find that question always gets a good conversation going. Usually shows who's important to them, what's important, etc. I think I literally wouldn't be able to answer. Not because I've never laughed, but recalling totally random stuff like that on the spot with no context is essentially impossible for me. Glad I'm not the only one who'd look like a deer caught in the headlights if I was asked this question without any warning. Pretty much any question that needs a very specific answer. I have the entirety of everything to pick from. Oh no. Which parallel universe versions of yourself would you want to meet and why? The me that gets a second date with you. Hopefully you're meeting that version tonight, too. Cha-cha real smooth. Take her back home now yow. The one with me in a cowboy hat. Because it's the only other universe. Depends on why I'm trying to get to know them in the first place. Once when my roommate and I were searching for a third roommate for our new apartment, the first question we asked applicants was, who's your favorite Pokemon? It caught a lot of people off guard, and the answer doesn't really matter that much. But the applicants' reaction to the question helped us filter through which ones had generally similar interests to us. I don't know why I read you were searching for the third roommate in your new apartment. Like you were looking for someone already inside. You can always tell a Milford man. Roommates should be neither seen nor heard. A question a guy asked me during the first few days of college. Him, do you have a girlfriend? Nope. Him, you don't have one or you don't want one? The second question sent me into deep introspection. But me and the guy became lifelong friends. Was he hitting on you though? Well, if you don't want a girlfriend, do you want a boyfriend? Lifelong friends. Give him my condolences. What level of toastiness do you like your toast? I don't know if toastiness levels carry across jurisdictions. But for me, 2 is just warm bread. Damn, y'all have those fancy toasters. Mine has just a dial and no numbers on it. What is your idea of happiness? Seems to be pretty interesting. Is this a personal attack? What do you know about me? Who sent you? Come home, brother, it's been 5 years. Now you're creeping me out for real, because I've spent the last 5 years of my life in another country and I've been thinking about coming home lately. The daily AskReddit repost lineup. Girls of Reddit. What's something a guy did that made you go, "Ooh yeah buddy, that's some good stuff"? I have a vision of some poor schmuck going on a date with a girl and bombarding her with all these questions one after the other. Some of those are good questions, but some are pretty intrusive if you don't already know the person pretty well, and many of them the person won't have a very interesting answer for anyway. I'd just be awkwardly stumped if someone put me on the spot and asked me what I wished was socially acceptable. It's like a social job interview. What are your thoughts on life on other planets? Usually warrants a "seriously" face, and I go, "No, really." And most people will answer, then segue into something along those lines that they're interested in, and we're discussing all kinds of things. Open-ended topics are great to get to know people. Nah, you ask them if they believe in aliens. 'Cause they out of this world. I'm sorry. Ask if they believe in love at first sight, then say, "Me neither," after whatever they answer. Ask if they believe in magic, then disappear. What do you think happens after we die? Don't ask this on first date, though they may think you want to murder them. Or you are about whip out your Jehovah's Witness door knocking routine. What do you love most about yourself? I love getting asked this question. It really makes you think about how you view yourself. I hate getting asked this because I never know how to answer, and it just makes me sad that I can't answer. One time on my third date with a girl, she told me about how she thinks I'm going to go on to do great things in life. I was going through a lot of confidence issues at the time and kind of minimized the remark. Said something along the lines of "thank you, aha, but I'm not really sure." This girl, not aware of my mental state, keeps egging me to say out loud, "I'm going to do great things." I kept telling her how I can't at the moment and was just trying to laugh it off. But she was very persistent. In that moment it got me to realize that I didn't believe in myself and hadn't for a long time. After this realization hit, I freaking broke down into tears right in front of her. Poor girl didn't know what to do, haha, she was just trying to be motivational. It probably made it even more of a WTF moment for her, because I'm this big guy who tends to not get emotional about things very often. A happy ending to the story is that girl is now my girlfriend and has been for 5 months. So I guess the moral of the story is to cry to your dates and they'll somehow want to stay with you. And I just teared up. Thanks for sharing. What concept do you think could have the most significant positive impact on humanity? Not any that I'd be able to teach them.